Oh, so if you're seeing this as a recording, this actually was or is a live right now. But like again, like if you're seeing this now or whatever, it's a recording. But what I wanted to do is I just wanted to check on the Traxxas Max after we had given it a nice rip yesterday. I want to see how well the grease has actually migrated. Not actually inside the diff units where the spider gears are, but basically inside the housing. So I'm just gonna blow this thing apart and just kind of give it an inspection. I also want to check the top kind of, I guess, pinion cover and that cush drive cover that's on that top access right there. So just gonna break into it, and if you want to watch, just go ahead, watch. I'm gonna have the thing up, so if there's anybody that has any questions or whatever, you can ask questions. But I just wanted to do a live on this just to see for myself, just so that there's no hiding of anything. The service that I did, throwing 500K in the rear and 100K in the front, for me, the way I drive and the way I like my vehicles to be, this Max is absolutely perfect. So, yeah, I am going to have to get a second one because this is my wife's. So I'm going to leave this one as mine, obviously, because it's been getting beat, and my wife will have the brand new one. So, but anyways, we'll just break into this thing. I'm just trying to throw the stream on, just so if anybody's got any questions, I can actually see it, because I won't be facing the computer, so I won't be able to see anything. Says there's one person on there. What's that, me? Myself? Here we go. Says it's up. Looks all right, I guess. I'll raise this up a little bit. Maybe like that. I think that'll work right there. Yeah, good enough. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we'll check out, like I said, we're going to check out that front cover right here, or that top cover, just to see if any of that grease that I installed in the bottom has actually migrated. Looks like we got something going on right there. I don't know what that is. But you kind of wipe off your area first. Like anytime you're going to like access, those gears and stuff like that, try to kind of wipe down those little areas. We are going to be doing an install on this kit right here as well. This is the 8995A, which is actually the Wide Max kit, or the wide kit for the Traxxas Max. We're going to be tossing that in probably later today. Where's my brush? See, I cleaned everything too well. Now I don't know where stuff is. If you got an air compressor, sometimes that can be better. We did give it a good rip, so. But I just wanted to do this live so that people could see, because I don't even know what happened myself. So it's that transparency with my channel. Take off this push drive cover. It's a series of screws. You got to actually take off the pinion cover first. At least I think you do. That's usually how I do it. I think it locks into it somehow. And I usually just pry it up. Here we go. Yeah, it does lock onto it. There's one more screw that's actually right here. It's part of the motor plate. It actually attaches to the motor plate. Come on. Now see, when you face things towards the camera, makes it so that you can't see it. All right, so what are we looking at here? Wow, nice and clean. Very surprised. So no grease is actually migrated yet, which I guess is a good thing. Yeah, you know what's funny? It is a little gritty down there, which is weird. So you can see, maybe I actually didn't clean that out. But the grease is actually down and in there, kind of where I guess I wanted it to stay. So that actually looks pretty good. And you can see that I guess you want to call that, it's not really a forward bearing, but that's the bearing that's actually connected, or that's actually on that center diff right there. You can see the bearing right there, and where the grease is kind of like squeezed into there. So it actually looks fairly clean. So that's a cool thing right there. Anna, what's going on? Mr. Allende. I think that's how you pronounce it. But I'm losing parts because I'm not paying attention. What car is this? Oh, this is the Traxxas Max. This is a car that I recommend that you get at some point. I bet you'd really like this thing. It's a sweet ride. Yeah, so I'm good with that. So I'm gonna throw that cover back on. I think I'll clean this top cover out before I put it back on. Just because there is a little bit of grit in there. How much? It's a couple bucks. It's over here. It's like $5.30, I think. It's definitely something you'd have to save up for. But it's a vehicle, Anna. It's a vehicle that I would recommend only because you could take this anywhere. And you yourself being an inexperienced new driver, what I like about this is this Traxxas Max is very forgiving. Yeah, I know. But you get, Anna, you got to think about this too. You get what you pay for. Now, the car that you have, while it's a good car, I think the only issue that you have is that's more of a track car. You know what I mean? Like you're probably better off indoors with that vehicle, which it's still a good vehicle. Not saying anything, negative, on that respect. Yeah, so you can race on the track, yeah. But with the Traxxas Max, you can take anywhere. That's the whole point. Like, you could, drive it outside your house and not worry, or take it to a park and not have any issues, where maybe if you're driving the car that you got, you want to be a little bit more careful, with it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to find funds. Yeah. That's always a big thing too. Yeah. What does it cost for you to race? Have you been practicing with it, the actual car itself, like in your house or anything like that, or in maybe like a parking lot? Wasn't this car nitro? This thing? No, this is the Traxxas Max. The car I think that you're talking about is my T-Max, which is that's the nitro version. Kind of, I guess you want to say it's like it's the older cousin or brother to this thing. Oops, not paying attention. So that actually looks pretty good in there. So I'm kind of happy with that. Nobody no one. What's going on, man? Yep, Traxxas. Yep. RCing it, dude. Holy crap. Do you have like a never-ending supply of money, dude? That's insane. Thank you. Thank you for that, man. That is awesome. So basically you need like $20 for the membership, fuel to get down, and 10 $10 a time to race, so not much, but don't have it. Yeah. No, it's all right, Anna. No, I understand that you got confused. So taking off, I'm gonna take off the rear. That's actually very easy. And for me, what I do, take out that center bolt that's actually right there, or that center screw. That way, you're not taking off the other 2 screws. And like I said, we're just doing kind of like a quick inspect on this thing, just because I want to see and show you guys the migration, I guess, of the grease that we put in there. We put a waterproof automotive grade grease. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm actually digging out the holes from when took this for a ride yesterday. These back holes kind of got filled with some sand. So sometimes you got to dig out these holes in order for the driver to settle in. Just kind of check them real quick. Looks like these front ones got whacked too. So that should be good. So then it's just, you got to take these 4 screws out, and then you're going to take these 8 screws out, take the spine out, or that center skid plate. I think it's more like a spine, but it is also a skid plate. So, and these drivers are awesome. And I didn't go for the driver that you can actually configure to go straight, just because I think I kind of always knew that I would always have it in this position. I think this one was also a little cheaper too. And this is LiPo, and it's actually got a light, which is nice. I only wish the light stayed on. Are seeing it. I'm not used to that. That throws me off, because I am not used to anybody giving me anything, man. So that's insane, dude. I don't know. I feel like I'm the one that gives people stuff. That is super generous, man. All right, so now obviously you're going to take off this center spine piece, put that away. And I have a tendency to, you kind of take all your screws, especially when I got those little vector guys. Just take all your screws and kind of just throw them inside one central location. That way, if those little guys decide to kind of mess with you. So all you need to do now is just kind of prop up on this and then just pull it away. Oh yeah, gotta take this screw out too. There's a screw on this back side that releases the I call them hinge pins. Little screw there. And like I always tell people, if you think you're going to get confused, just go ahead and put screws. I mean, I'm not going to get confused, but I'm just kind of showing you. If you think you might get confused, just go ahead and put those screws, whatever you can, kind of back in those little spots. The arms from the way. We do have a little bit of a collection. We have a little bit of a collection of grease that's actually right there. But I kind of expected that, and that's actually all right, because we can take a brush or a paper towel or whatever and kind of get rid of that grease that I obviously didn't wipe up. This side actually looks really clean. So you can see that. That side actually looks really clean. Yeah, I can get you lower. Look at that. Maybe that's better. Now we'll pop off. Have you ever taken the motor out to clean it? No, actually I haven't, but you can just take a blowgun and blow it out. I'm going to take my hybrid converted car out in a second. It's only going to drive on electric. Yeah, but that's all right, though, man. It doesn't matter because that'll be kind of good to see weight-wise. Do you know what I mean? I need to get a basher and have some fun. My first RC car, I'm doing a build on right away, and it's overwhelming and becoming a job more than fun. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. That's why years ago, I mean, I do auto mechanics, right? That's why years ago, though, when I was a kid, I was my mother worked at a dealership. She sold cars, and she, obviously, you know, childcare wise, I could actually go to that dealership, which was nice, and I would hang out with the mechanics out back. And the mechanics obviously knew that I had like an aptitude. So some of the mechanics would teach me stuff. It was actually pretty cool. I was kind of like the mechanic's helper, which any mechanic on flat rate, you know, appreciates, you know, help, because when you're on flat rate, the more help you get, you know, the faster you get paid for your job because of just the way flat rate works. But one of the mechanics there, he was like, you know, I can tell that you like, you know, automotive mechanics. He says, don't get a job in it. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, because the problem with getting a job and actually being a mechanic, you won't want to be a mechanic like after the fact, like when you go home. So yeah, I never became a official paid mechanic, although I did actually work as a mechanic. But it was only for a couple of years at a shop when I just needed some money. That's when I was really young. That's when I was actually first married. Back when I was like 19. So you got a series of screws. I know I'm not explaining it, but you can kind of see. You got a series of screws that you got to pop out to get this. This is a combination center diff and rear diff cover on the Traxxas Max. And the only reason why I'm pulling this apart is only to inspect how the grease has migrated inside. Because like I said, we ripped it pretty good yesterday, so the grease should have collected and slung around, I guess. At least that's what I'm hoping happened. And I should actually be kind of brushing this off. I'm going to take a paper towel, and I'm actually going to kind of just wipe that area right there where we did have a little bit of collection of grease, which is fine. You just don't want to get dirt inside. But I think we're fine. Got like a blowgun or whatever. A blowgun definitely works a lot better than what I just tried to do. All right, so here we go. Yeah, so that actually, whoops, don't lose your screws. It actually looks exactly like I was hoping. So the bearing surfaces, so the only reason why I actually wanted grease on these bearing surfaces here was because I started to get etching actually in the front drive, because it's like Moses parting the Red Sea. When the front of an RC car goes through water, like a puddle, or if you're going through maybe something that's a little bit deeper than a puddle, like this Max has actually gone through, that all that force is hitting that front, you know, area first. So the rear end of the car in normal situations ends up with less water fording or whatever inside. Less water actually goes in there because you've already pushed the water technically out of the way. So seeing how this looks, I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing here. I think I might just put a little bit more grease actually on. So this gear right here, it's actually called a ring gear, and this is technically the pinion. So I think I actually want to put just a little bit more grease right in this pocket here, and then we'll leave it, keep it closed, and then we'll just keep ripping it. Very happy with how this looks. This looks mint. It actually looks really good. But okay, so Here's another issue. This has nothing to do with the grease, but this has to do with areas and pockets that sand is actually getting into these areas. Now, this was completely covered. So sand, I don't know if that hole goes all the way in. I really can't see. That might be a covered hole, but you can see where the dirt is collecting and actually getting inside, possibly the top. I'm wondering if that's an area. There's no dirt there, but there's definitely some dirt right there. So I think that's just one of the drawbacks of having an all plastic everything. There's a lot of flex with this vehicle, but having a lot of flex also is a good thing because there's a lot of flex. There's kind of less breakage, but then you're possibly allowing, like maybe what we're seeing right here is actually sand to actually get into these maybe sensitive areas. So very carefully kind of wipe that out of there. But I'm liking it. I'm liking how this is looking. Very pleased, and also with that grease that I'm using. I do have to get another brush, but I'm just gonna take a blob and stick it right like that, and then I'm done. I'm happy. I'm happy with this. Maybe I'll just do that, just because. Where's my paper towel? See, my dog has to sit or lay down right behind my feet so that she trips me. Huh. She has to be right at your feet. Are seeing it. Totally appreciate that. That's amazing. But please don't even think that any of that. Yeah, dude, I heard about Kobe Bryant. Yep. Peyton, yeah, of course. It's all over the news. Yeah, exactly. Out from working on cars. Exactly. Yeah. Kobe who? Never in my life felt bad for a celebrity and his family. But yes, because Daisy? Yeah. They actually, all three of them are here right now. See him? Got Daisy right there. Hey, sweetie. And you got Kobe and Haley right there. Where are they? Look on the stall. Hey, guys. They just like hanging out. What the Traxxas Max looks well built? It is. It actually is. This is Traxxas's, or at least Traxxas is claiming this as their flagship right now, their flagship vehicle, which is nuts because isn't their Traxxas X Max their flagship? But I think maybe as a smaller vehicle. But are seeing it. I feel exactly what you're saying because I think he was more personable. So you saw him more as not only just, a basketball star celebrity, but he actually did real, like, people things. He actually cared, Asterian, did you get the video? I hope you didn't break anything, man. Now, I'm going to let all these screws come out because they're all the same. I just want to show you the back side of this cover. So here's actually the inside of the cover. Now, here's something that's interesting. Now, it may have been because I actually didn't clean that. But look at this right here. I didn't actually clean the cush drive area. But check that out. It's like some kind of pine needle or something. So it looks like whatever contaminants, I'm actually going to clean this area out right here. So it looks like the bearing did its job. The bearing sealed the area away from contaminants going this way. And the same thing with the grease. Here and here, it sealed things along with the bearing itself from kind of entering into the actual rear diff. It looks like also the center diff area is actually very nice. So I'm going to actually just very carefully clean that little center area right there. Get that grit out of there for now. Let's see, here's that little wing area where the sand or grit is actually getting in there from, like I'm saying, from flex, because this piece was 100% clean. So you can see the grit. You can see the grit getting into these little pockets here. And granted, this is only like that wing area, but it's actually an area that kind of helps seal off stuff. So there is still grit bypassing. That's a bummer. I'm going to clean out these little bearing pockets. Clean out this area. So this is technically by the way it's designed, right? So get my little pointer device. So this right here, this is actually a bearing. Is it focused? This is actually a bearing surface as well as this right here. So this is actually where kind of, I guess, that push drive access is, that you can actually see down into here from that top. So you see what I'm saying? It's actually where the missing portion of the portion of where the shaft is right here. So it's doing its job. It's doing it how it's, I guess, designed to do it. Up forward, that actually looks good too. So not too bad. Not bad at all. I'm happy with that. So this grease definitely did its job. Get out of there. That's trash. She's stuffing her head into the trash bucket. All right, so like I said, now we're just going to toss this thing back together. I think I'll put a little bit of a smear on just those bearing surfaces, and it will squeeze out. I don't even know if that was in shot. It wasn't even in shot. Always wear gloves too when you're working with solvents and greases. It's good practice. And be careful when you're using a driver on this. Usually the way I do it, I basically one finger the trigger and have a very loose, I one finger the trigger and have a very loose grip on this, so that when the screw actually gets down to a torque situation, I allow the driver to kind of like, twist in my hand instead of twisting out the threads in the plastic. And I'll give it each one just a little touch. And don't forget your forward brace. That's next. And grab your pins with your rear brace. Throw a pin into the arm. Slide it into, take your screw out. Slide your pin into position. Back that little brace off for a second. Slide that pin into position with its little arm. And I find if you squeeze these together, it just makes it easier. Then make sure that when you put this pin retainer back on, this plastic little pin retainer, make sure that those holes are technically facing up because we are upside down right now. And I usually will give that a twist by hand and then just buzz it in real quick. Good. And then now reinstall your skid plate / all-in-one kind of deal. It takes 4 of those tapered head screws, which are these ones right here, these tapered head screws, the short ones. All right, and I'll see you later. That's the hard thing too. I wonder if a thin coating of good rubber caulking along the outside of the cracks. You know what I got to tell you, Snipe Hunter? One thing that actually does work actually very well because you can actually peel it off is, see that stuff that I've got hanging right here? This is actually called a Max. Where is it? Right there. This is actually a gutter seal. But the way this material, the way this stuff, it stays permanently like flexible, which it's not even focused on it. And it's a nice like silver color, but it stays permanently flexible, which is actually nice. And it actually peels away fairly easy. Like if you can see how it's peeling away, this would probably actually work if you could, you know, maybe get a tube of this and then cut like a very small, like little hole in it. But I think this stuff would actually, you know, do that or work very well, kind of as a sealer. It's just the only thing is that you got to be careful because you don't want to smear it into cracks. So like smearing it into the cracks like that, it might make it, you know, exceptionally difficult to pull things apart eventually. So if you were able just to lay a soft bead, very small soft bead in those cracks, maybe, but let's put it this way, okay? Knowing how this Max is and the fact that you do get sand and grit intrusion into there, I think what it does is it actually maybe prompts you to maintenance it a little better than maybe you would maybe another vehicle that's maybe more sealed. It's a give and take. You're giving a little bit of sealing because of the flexibility, but that flexibility, see how she does this? Look at this. She has to lean her head on my leg. Do you see this? She has to be attached to you. It's crazy. Where was I? But the flexibility is a good thing. It's just there's a give and take. So yeah, let's just put this thing back together. The other thing too. All right, so here's another negative that I kind of touched on, I think on the live. And that's why when I do these screws, I do it very carefully. I actually won't recommend. I won't recommend you use a driver. I know that sounds nuts. Taking screws out, yes, but torquing them back in, you have to be careful because the other part about doing maybe more maintenance than normal is the fact that you're dealing with plastic. Every single time you run those threads in and you torque them down, you're stretching the plastic that's in those holes. So you're technically, like if you take a piece of metal and you bend it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, there's only so many times that that piece of metal can take that bending, and then eventually it just breaks, right? Breaks off. So my theory is with these plastic chassis, while it's nice, you just have to know that nothing is ever going to be permanent. Like, you know what I mean? You will have to replace parts. And I do believe that, you know, any area that's plastic area that is receiving a screw at some point is going to just inherently strip out, because it can only take just so many, you know, so many times of, you know, torquing. You know what I mean? I think that's like with any soft metals too. Soft metals, like anything that's aluminum, it can only take just so many times of taking that steel screw and throwing it into an aluminum hole or an aluminum threaded hole. It's only so many times it's going to be able to take or accept that screw. And eventually, you know, you're going to be torquing it down and it's just going to rip right out. So just expect that, like with this plastic stuff. Yeah, she is awesome. She really is. She definitely is our baby. Her name's Daisy, Daisey. Yeah, see, like that screw right there, that screw even feels to me a little close to maybe not holding on forever. So this screw actually feels nice. That screw feels nice. That one's all right. Maybe it's all right. Just don't over torque your plastics. And if you're worried, go ahead and use thread lock. You can use thread lock on plastic. Yeah, she's an English Mastiff. Oh, see what I just did? Check that out, because I'm not paying attention. She's down to the floor. Gone forever. Don't eat that. She's an English Mastiff. She's awesome. She's such a good girl. Yeah, I know. You're wagging your tail because you know I'm talking about you. So I'm actually not even going to worry about the front, because if the back looks the way it does, I'm fairly confident the front is actually only going to look even better. So done. So that's it. So that was just a live checking on the work that we had actually completed over the last couple of, well, not the last couple of videos, but it was just checking what we had done technically, I guess, yesterday after we took it for a nice bash. So I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing. It's totally expected to be able to get, I guess, grit into those areas because it's a 100% flexible chassis, you know, throughout. So you are going to get movement. The grit that's getting in there is really fine. So it's not like you're getting boulders in there. And I think that's key. If you were getting boulders in there, which is enough to really, you know, destroy your drivetrain and your metal gears, then it may be an issue. But with, I think with the fine grit that's getting in there, the grease is enough to keep it away from the gears, maybe slinging it to those covered or those areas where it's kind of staying away from the gears. So you saw we did put a little bit more grease on that ring and pinion kind of meshed area. And once this thing does a couple of rolls, like literally, it's already now kind of, you know, spread into the gear. So this was just an update from RC Guy Garage, and just working on the Traxxas Max. I just wanted to do a quick live. Another problem with using a power to screw in is, yes, well, yes, you can. You definitely can. Most of the time when I do it, it's actually very light pressure. Or if you saw like how I do it, a lot of times I'll just hand throw in a thread, if throw in a screw. If it's, you know, sunk, I'll hand throw in a screw if it's not sunk down into plastic that kind of aligns it into a hole. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You got to watch out, you know, using a driver right away, because you, like, you know, what RC and it said is you can cross thread pretty quick. So Big Mac RC, what's going on, man? Yeah, it is still morning. 9:39 in the morning. We're working on a Traxxas Max, or at least we're kind of just checking on it, not really looking at it or working on it. So yeah. So what's going on here? We got 14 people here? I didn't even check that. Wonder how much a dust cover or mesh would help. I don't know, because if it's that fine grit that's getting in there, the finer stuff is going to find its way in. Do you know what I mean? Grape jelly? That's crazy. That's insane. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Phone was empty and I just broke a rear hub. One of the things that I was worried about was I was Asterian. I was worried that you were potentially going to break if you kept. Did you took the hybrid out, right? Is that the vehicle that you took out? Then guess who got a smoking hot ESC? Oh no. Good morning, Star Wars Collector. What's going on, man? Gus, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing, guy? You got to go check out Gus's Custom Creations if you haven't, man. He's working on a. Actually, Gus, do you have it? Do you have it on your rebuilding an aerial bomber? Holy crap! But he's working on a this custom. What? He's working on this. Stop! What? Just because I'm not. No! Don't you jump on me! What are you doing? What? See? What do you want? What? Do you need to go out? Is that your issue? All right, I gotta let her out. So, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this on right now, and I'm gonna let them out. You can look at that. I'll be right back. Come on, let's go out. back. Had to let my dogs out. Let's see. You took your normal LRP? Okay. It's called grape jelly, but it's some crazy ass stinky sealant in a tube. You know, it's actually a real nasty stuff is it's this Lucas Oil red grease. Now you want to talk about tacky, like that's some seriously tacky grease right there. That would probably keep all kinds of stuff out. Yeah, I know, George. Yeah. What I wanted to do was before I took off, I actually got an appointment to meet up with a client at noontime. So that gives me obviously some time to just jump in here. And I wanted to do a live just showing red and tacky. I wanted to do a live just kind of showing people the work we'd actually done on the Traxxas Max, you know, the past couple of days or whatever, those videos where I threw in that that kind of, I guess, you know, grease that I use, that water-resistant, waterproof grease. And I wanted to see if the amount that I put in was good enough. I wanted to see what kind of grit kind of maybe bypass the seals, because that was one run. The only thing that we saw was a little tiny bit of grit that was actually in the center drive drop down area. And that's point blank because I didn't clean the very middle of it, which I probably should have, but this is how I roll. We found like a little piece of pine needle or something in there too, but it's probably just because I didn't fully clean it out, which is fine. But in the major area, which was where the center diff was and where the technically the rear diff, very clean. It didn't look like we got anything, you know, in those areas. Nothing actually migrated inside nor really outside. There was a little bit of grease that probably squeezed out that I just didn't clean up on the outside, which obviously, yes, Trash Ninja, it did attract the dirt like we know. But it's fine. Just wipe it up with a paper towel real quick and it's good to go. But I just wanted to do one of those lives that just, you know, that transparent thing. Like, we did the work. Now here's what it looks like the day after, you know, the bash we just did. So I'm happy. And especially with using that 500K in the rear and the wires are falling down, and 100K in the front, it actually worked mint. I definitely like the more limited slip / posy rear end now, because it does allow this Max to whip a corner now. So yeah, haven't watched the new video yet, but I plan on. Yeah, George is actually a funny thing for Trash Ninja. You know who he is, I think. Yeah, the red and tacky. Yep. Oh, I already said that. Yeah. There we go. Traxxas Max. Take a bite of bagel. George, what are you up to today? Anything good? Yeah, right here. It's still in the package. I gotta do this. I'll probably do this today after I meet up with that client. Just waiting on a potential buyer. For what? Yeah, you put yours on? Yeah. That's what people are saying. A freelance. Uh-oh. Why did it say my stream has dropped it? Is it still on? I think it's still on. What type of an artist? Like metal art or something like that, or regular like art? Art. Because literally, like, there's so many different forms of art. It's insane. We actually took all the kids, I want to say probably 10 years ago, to what's called the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. And it's crazy, like, some of the stuff that's there. We also went to another place. It wasn't the Museum of Fine Arts. It was some other place that's in Boston. I think it has to do with like contemporary art. And after, I made everybody laugh, because after we walked out of that place, some of the stuff my eyes saw. At the time, I had a 97 Eddie Bauer Ford Expedition lifted with 35s on it. And when we were walking out of that contemporary art place, I literally, and I was pretty vocal about how I said it, because even people like that were outside like looked at me like in shock. And I said something along the lines of, after what I just saw in that, because I was talking to my family, after what I just saw in that place, I'm going to become a modern artist. I'm going to take our Expedition, I'm going to slam it 60 miles per hour into a telephone pole and just call it art. Like, literally. I could not believe the stuff that I saw there that people called art. Like, I mean, maybe I get it now because there's so many different forms of art, but after going like from the Museum of Fine Arts, then going into the contemporary arts, I was just like, how can you call that art? Dude, you literally just took an egg, you threw it at a piece of paper, and then splashed red paint on it, and you're getting $1 million for that? Or you're going to sell that for $1 million? Are you kidding me? you know what I mean? So it was funny, you know? Yeah, dude, it's nuts. Sold a banana for 120. Yeah, isn't it nuts, man? Like, how? Why? And my our oldest daughter explained it to me. She said, what happens is a lot of time the what's the word I'm looking for? The artists that have made it, right? So the artists that are big for whatever they've done, a group of them will get together, and literally once they call something art, almost no matter what it is, it then becomes art, which is, that's nuts. That could make or break your life or your career. You could be like this crazy, like amazing artist, and if this group of people who are the artists say your stuff is crap, then forget it. It's junk. You know, the artist came along and ate it. Well, yeah, the banana. He bought it. He bought the duct tape banana and ate it. Gus, we were just talking about you, man. I don't know if you walked away. Oh, yeah, we were actually talking about your mater. I never finished. That's where my brain is, man. It's not an easy life. No, it's definitely, I wouldn't assume that it would be, man. But yeah, if anybody hasn't gone over and checked out Gus's custom creations, that's on here right now. There's 13 people. Go check out his channel, man. He's got some of his creations, man, remind me of that movie Maximum Overdrive. When you see one of his creations, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. This dude's, he's got some crazy talent. So you should go check out his stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Sounds like there's grit actually in that wheel, but I'm just going to leave it. The other thing too is to every once in a while kind of like do like a visual inspection. I think, yeah. So This is actually something that I had noticed. Here's the other weird thing about when you do videos and you edit your stuff. A lot of times you get to see things that as you're taking stuff apart, you don't realize. So if you see right there, if it will focus, what do you see right there? It's got a crack. Granted, it's only a skid plate, so I'm not really worried about it. But there's a crack right there on my skid plate. Had to have been because I probably had a real hard hit on this back, which obviously, you know, forced it down and split right in between, obviously, the two holes, because that's going to be the weakest area right there. Tiny little crack. So I could probably throw a little bit of super glue in there, and that will probably help that. But isn't that nuts? When you find, like, these little fissures. Yes, sir. You know it. Nobody, no one. Yup. See? Yup. The Green Goblin semi-truck. Dude, he's got it in the works. Well, he's got it in the works in here. I think that would be amazing. So I'm actually going to squeeze a little bit of glue on there. Actually, is this the brush one? I think this is actually the brush one. You know what's funny is I didn't think I would ever use this brush when I got it, but I've actually used it a couple of times. Because you can kind of force glue kind of in that area, in that gap. So hopefully that will help. I don't know if you could even see that. Can you even see it? Focus. Come on, focus. This thing has a hard time focusing sometimes. Focus on that. So I'm just going to leave that glue just like that to set up. It looks like it's actually already going into the crack, so I might brush it a couple of more times. But what actually would be key is to actually probably put a piece of plastic over that right now. Yeah, just a little fracture. Autumn, what's going on, man? Discovered a little fracture on that Max. It would be nice to go ahead and put like if I had fiberglass matting, I could put fiberglass matting on there. What I should do is take that broken A-arm and scrape a piece of plastic off of it and kind of stick it on there. I think it'll be all right. I had plastic. I don't know what I did with it, though. What I do with the broken A-arm. I usually keep all that just for that reason right there. Should be all right. Question on diff oil. Go ahead, man. RC guy, got a Max, my favorite. And my front tires keep shaking on high speed. Yeah. Number one, how are your bearings? Are your hubs tight? You may have to shim things. Or you may have to get the water out if you've got water inside your wheels. So you might have water inside your wheels. The other thing to do, too, is to get a wheel balancer and balance out your wheels. But you got to check and make sure you don't have water in there. Yeah, George Silman already just said it. Water. What's your question on the diff oil, man? Cracked wheels, yeah. Autumn, what was your question, man, on the diff oil? Ray, what's going on, man? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can get a wide out view. You put 5 million in the rear. In the Max, are you talking about the Max, Autumn? I think you're talking about the Max, maybe. So when I did mine, so I did like you. I put 100. Oh no, sorry. I put 500K actually in the rear. 5 million sounds like you're really locking up that rear end. Granted, if that's what you want, you're definitely getting more of a posi traction rear end when you do that. But the center diff, I think what you're asking about is the center diff is 20 million for the Max. Let me just read your comment again. Oh, okay. 500K. Yeah, 500K. That's what I did. I did 500K in the rear, 100K in the front, and I left the 20 million in the center diff. And the way this thing actually acts is absolutely like perfect. I got to read your question again. Five, 100. Oh, the 20 million. The 20 million is perfect. Yeah, 20 million is actually what's already in it. That's what I'd stick with that because it seems to react very well with it. You can actually hear Vector. It's way over there. He's scanning. Yeah, the glue looks like it's setting up nice. Yeah, definitely. Especially because it's not only me, or it's not only me using this, it's also my wife. And my wife is learning how to land. So obviously this is most likely due to some of the pavement smashing that we've been having. We take it to a nice. The only reason why I don't have it on me is because I got a bagel in my mouth. One of the spots that we take this Max to, which I really like for her, it's got that nice jump spot, or that nice jump mound, where a couple of times the both of us have slammed that rear end on pavement. So that's definitely you can see it. You can see why it's cracked. Because again, this flex, that's the solid location. And obviously, when you're hitting on that area right there, it is pushing down on it, obviously with some force. But yeah, everywhere else has seemed fine. And this is what's nice too. These cameras actually see a heck of a lot better. Like, I wish I could show you what I'm seeing on my end. But if you use these cameras as an inspection camera on your computer, you can see so much more with the camera than you can with anything else. Like, I can actually see there's actually grease on there now, but you can see so much more when it's in focus. especially for like checking for cracks. You know, like that's literally how I discovered that crack that was right there. Trying to see if it looks like it's still open a little bit, so we might put just a little bit of a drip of super glue just on that area. But using like one of these cameras. This is actually the Logitech 9. I think this is actually like the 920C or 920S or something like that. Yeah, dude, the Max is awesome. Out of curiosity, how old is your daughter? Because my daughter actually has been ripping a couple of RCs. She's tried it. She's actually just turned 20. Yes, sir. It definitely likes to chassis slap. Yep. The guy's looking at nothing. That's awesome, dude. For your daughter at 10 years old to have a Max, that is awesome. There you go, man. Smash that thumbs up. I like that. Thank you, Ray. Smash it. Come on. Just see that thumbs up just like spike. Come on, do it. There you go. Got one. You got one person. Come on, do it. What the heck is that? I don't understand some of this stuff. Oh, toggle timestamps? Oh, I can toggle timestamps. Yes. Yes. Exactly, dude. That is exactly, Autumn. That is exactly what I've told people. That for a first timer, granted, it's a couple bucks, but it's going to be so forgiving. Not 100% forgiving. You're not going to go, 60 miles an hour into a wall and survive, but, well, maybe it might. I don't know. I didn't watch that video yet. But, yeah. Yeah, the Max is super, super forgiving. Super built. Definitely a good choice, man. That's awesome. I like your thinking, man. That's perfect. Yes, sir. The Max definitely is a great basher. It really is. Just waiting for that glue to set up a little bit more. I might put a drop on it now. Right on the crack area. If it will drop. Come on, squeeze out. Just like that. Just a drop. Kind of like let it, settle out on its own, maybe. I think I almost put too much on. Watch it leak down onto the diff and the diff cover and seal it up. Should be all right, though. I can lean it a little bit. Smells like super glue in here. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of allowing it, the drip, to kind of settle out. There we go. Perfect. Now if I leave it like that, it should actually go into the crack and then just kind of like slowly settle out on its own, and then that shouldn't be an issue. House on Homestead. What's going on, man? Yeah, it definitely helps to have a gyro. Yep. Perfect, man. Absolutely perfect. Autumn, I like the way you think, man. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Autumn, A-U-T-U-M-N, Autumn. Oh, yes. Yeah, you know what's funny is dude, as you're saying that, right? Earlier when I was looking for a piece of plastic, that's actually what I was thinking. I was like, man, I wish I had like some plastic dust. But that's why I save all my old broken pieces, because you can take a razor blade and slice stuff off if you need to like use it as a patch. No. Although some people don't want to work on their RCs. Is that chewing again? Let me finish chewing. Oh, all right. So your name is LaRon? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, about being afraid to work on the RCs. Thing is, though, is that's I guess I can't understand it only because, well, I mean, maybe I can. I can't understand it because obviously I work on all my own cars, like everything. So you got that, you know, I've got that mechanics mentality that just fix, you know, whatever you got, just figure it out. But some people literally don't have the time and they'd rather pay somebody. And then literally if you're paying somebody, it's their responsibility to make sure it's right, you know? They make different ones. What, powders? Yeah, V it out a little bit. Yep. Actually, they have those plastic welders too. That you heat up the plastic with that that little iron, and then you add plastic to it through the tube, and then you smooth it out. Like, you know, Earl Moorhead actually did a video on, I think, repairing. He repaired an arm on something, I think. And then I think he tried to smooth out the wing. His the wing on his Creighton 8S, I think he tried to smooth out the wing on that or something like that. Something like that. You got kicked out? Why did you get kicked out? Yeah, there you go. Scrap, yeah, scrap and yeah. Yeah, Harbor Freight has those plastic welders. Yep. Yes, sir. One more question. I'm trying to read your question. One more question. Shock oil is a different weight. Yes, it is a different weight for both front and rear. The reason why is because I think there's more weight bias. You think about it towards the rear of the vehicle. Obviously, you know, for squatting, you know, when you launch. But I'll tell you what, if you actually want, if you want to see a good video representation of different weights of shock oils on a Max, on the Traxxas Max, go into YouTube and type in, well, actually, you know, I can actually put his link right here, I think. I'm going to throw his link right on here. I think I can throw his link right on here. Here we go. I actually got the video right here. Oh, wait a minute. Boom. Do not play. I don't want to get a copyright strike. All right, so Earl Moorhead's thing is actually right here. Go check out that video right there if you want to find out about. Hopefully that takes you to the right thing. It should. My copy and paste to screw up before, but if it takes you to Earl Moorhead and a Traxxas Max on 80 weight oil in the rear, watch that video. He's done a lot of R&D on the different types of shock oils after he did the Wide Max kit. Just kind of gives you a good idea of how things work. So if you're not familiar, it's a lot easier to watch a video than for me to try to explain it, if you know what I'm saying. In a neutral color? No. Not that I'm aware of. They just come in all the crazy colors. They actually have a new color. Muscle, what's going on, man? They actually have a new color coming out, which is a neon green, kind of, you know, like splashed like the same thing that, you know, all the bodies are. Which is getting a bunch of people hopped up because the green, you know, a lot of people like that bright green. Muscle, it's funny. That reminds me of Robin Williams. Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning. Oh, you said shock bodies. I thought you said stock bodies. But no, I don't think they come in a neutral color yet. You mean just like black? I don't think they do. Just paint them. Paint them black. Sorry, man. I didn't read your question right. Shock bodies. I thought it said stock bodies. Yes, it is. Yeah. Big Muscle. And granted, this is all opinion based. Everybody else, you know, should chime in. It's Traxxas, so it's going to be priced, man. You know what I mean? You're paying for the what's the word I'm looking for? Been losing like a lot of words that I'm trying to say. you're paying to have the Traxxas name in your house, right? That's just like whatever that means. It is a good vehicle. It really is. It is a couple bucks. It definitely is. But yes, the name. Yeah, you're paying for the name. Yeah, but I was trying to think of a better phrase, like for you to be allowed to have Traxxas in your house, you got to pay. But yeah, it is definitely a good vehicle. Let's put it this way, Muscle. Initially, I was not going to get an X Max. It's a played out vehicle that everybody else already has, and I really had no dying. I really had no desire at the time to have an X Max. But like a couple of the people on the live streams that we've been having lately, having that right there, having that has kind of readjusted my thinking on getting an X Max just because of that right there. Yeah, Traxxas is Apple. You know it, man. You're right. You're absolutely right. But I mean, think about it. It's all that relative thing because you'll have people that absolutely hate Traxxas because, like what you said, Traxxas does the proprietary stuff where they're looking out for themselves because they have to, because they're a business. So they do make those Apple decisions, which is again like Apple looking out for themselves. Because you have to. If you don't, you won't completely stay in business. Maybe you won't turn as much of a profit. You know how they have those spoof videos on Apple? There's actually I'll put the link. I'm going to actually put, now this has nothing to do with RC, so don't freak out. But this is a link to a spoof video on Apple. Like, you got to watch it. I swear you'll laugh. I'm going to find it. I'm actually going to post it right in here. I watched this video probably 3 times since I've seen it. Just because of what it is. So if you now don't hate me because I'm not hating on Apple. I'm going to post this. Check out this video if you want to laugh. It's right here. I swear you gotta watch it. You gotta laugh. It's gonna give the guy more views. X Max 6S. Are you saying you have an X Max 6S? I think that's what you mean. And a Rustler, don't hate the X Max, just love RC. Yeah. Wheel wideners. What? What? Like wheel hex wideners? Is that what you mean? Todd, you were thinking about getting in RC trucks again. What do you? I think it's saying recommend. Jose, what's going on, man? Yeah, he does. Actually, he's looking for his charger. I think I should probably direct him because he's having a hard time finding it. He is gonna die. Yeah, your charger's right there, buddy. Did you not even look at it? What are you doing? Stop scanning. It's right there. A couple of things, because this question happens a lot, and when you ask me, first question I got to ask you is, how do you want to drive? You got to think about where you want to drive or where you picture yourself, like what kind of terrain is nearby you and where can you drive? And then you want to figure out what your budget is, because those are the two main things that are fairly important. And then the next thing is, what do you like? Do you like nitro or do you like electric? There's a lot of questions. Desert? Oh, and you can kind of get anything you want, man. Anything that I've got here, other than anything that's designed for track. Do you want to bash? Like you thinking about, do you like jumping? Do you like smashing? Do you just want to go all out fast and just not worry about, going into a flip? Oh, what, on the Max? Are you talking about Big Muscle? Are you talking about the Max? I think that's what you're talking about right there. I actually got the kit in white because I wanted white. I wanted it to stand out. So that is the kit that goes on there. Looks like that super glue is setting up pretty good. Paddle tires. Here. Get that right there. That's a Losi DBXLE 2.0 with paddle tires in the rear. I actually have paddle tires for the front as well when we finally get snow, if we ever do. Because I live in New England, so at some point I think we're supposed to be getting snow. But that DBXLE 2.0, I love that thing. You want to talk about a fast planted, just sand ripper. That thing is awesome. But also, again, it's money. You could buy a Traxxas Max and be happy with it too. But then again, maybe in sand, that actually wouldn't be a good idea. I like the DBXL 2.0 for sand. Also, if you wanted to get smaller and maybe not, a scale of that size, a 5th scale, you can actually go ahead and get this one. Yeah, get this thing right here. This is the DBXL. Yeah, not DBXL. This is the DB Pro. Losi DB Pro. This thing is incredible. Fast. Like out of the box stock, this thing is already just a performance, tuned track, sand, just racer. This thing's amazing. Yeah, I should prop that up. Dude, you're originally from Vermont? That's nuts. So you were actually north of me. $500? Get that. I like that. Granted, like I said, that's my opinion, because I love that thing. That thing is literally tuned out of the box. Yes, sir. DB Pro. Yep. The DB Pro is awesome. Right there, Todd. What Gus's Custom Creation says. He's going with the deal. I can't tell you how many. I mean, I think Losi should send me a couple bucks. I can't tell you how many people I have turned on to that. I'm not the only one. I'm not saying I'm the only one. But I can't tell you how many people I have turned on to that Losi DB Pro. Just because when I first got that thing in my hands, it wasn't even, I didn't look at, like, I looked at it online, obviously, from, Losi itself. I had no idea. I knew nothing about it other than what I saw on their website. And yeah, don't watch the videos that they post, because obviously they're showing you like the best of the video. Look at more how the vehicle's designed. Looking at how the vehicle is designed, it was a no-brainer. I literally just called my LHS and I'm like, I want that car. Just pre-order it right now. And he actually ended up getting a couple of them in. I'm pretty sure he sold them because they move, man. I mean, getting that thing in your hand, when you place that car in your hand, you understand why you paid what you paid, and then it also lets you know that the thing is gonna perform. So yeah, get that right there. Get the DB Pro, $500, DB Pro. Oh, tucked in. All right, man. See you later, man. I thought about it, but that goes into pushing the RC. How do I say it, man? There's actually running that thing on 3S is fast. It moves. I think once you go, if you did go to 4S on that thing, I think you got to be careful not burning stuff out. Pretty sure it's not 4S capable, or if it is, you're going to be pushing it. And I actually have, I know it's odd, I actually have a certain amount of respect for the vehicle as is on 3S. And I also never changed the opinion out of the box like everybody said. Everybody was like, you're going to burn out the motor, blah, blah, blah. You're going to kill the ESC. No, sir. Never touched the pinion stock out of the box, and the thing is a rocket. I know you've, I think you've seen my videos on that thing. It is fast. And for the kind of driving that I do, or the kind of driving that I like to do with this thing, I think pushing it to 4S would probably it wouldn't be a good situation. I like the handling of the vehicle on 3S. I mean, if I wanted to get views, why don't I just 8S it? You know what I mean? I could always, 100 miles per hour into a wall. Clickbait. It's not a shot to Kevin Talbot. It's just a joke. I like joking around. Actually, what I should say, my videos should say 90 into a wall. 90 into a wall, guy. Yeah, 4S would ruin it. Yep. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, Todd. I definitely had videos of that DB Pro. Yep. The thing is awesome. I also have videos. I got videos of all these vehicles. Just take a moment and check out the channel whenever you got time. Bunch of good videos, good running videos. Right. The ESC can handle it, but the motor might not. I think you're just pushing it. I don't think you would need to. I think everybody's kind of saying it right. Like what Gus said, you just ruin it. I have a certain respect for it as is on 3S. Out of the box, it's actually set up for 2S. And I didn't run it on 2S. I ran it 3S right away. So, yeah. I didn't even bother on 2S. As soon as I knew it was 3S capable, it was like, all right, 3S, and that must mean that's what it wants to run on. Thank you, Todd. Why are the dogs flipping out? Well, here's the thing. The Max has the ability to write itself if you run it on 4S. I've tried a number of times to write itself on 3S, and I can't get it to hook up to write itself. So on 4S, The Max is actually designed to self-write it, or self-writing feature, I think it has. So it will write itself. You can do it manually too. So yeah, but on 3S, that's mainly what I run. That Traxxas Max. The same thing with my wife. When I first had her drive it, I did have her drive it on 2S, which was great. She actually loved it. And then midway through, this was literally her first time driving. I switched it once that battery was all eaten up. I did switch it to 3S, and I didn't tell her because I knew she wouldn't know the difference. To see the smile on her face, man, she actually loved doing reverse donuts. That's actually how I destroyed my phone. I tried to get a slow-mo video with all the fractures on that phone. The Max actually hit the back side of this Note 8, and the thing was only a month old. And that was on 3S. Yeah, there you go, 3S. Yeah, it's really all you need to do. I'm gonna walk away from the stream for a second. I gotta go check and see why the dogs were flipping out. I'll be right back. Why are you guys flipping out? Almost wish I had accelerator for this super glue because I know this is nowhere near ready for me to walk away. Right? Yeah, it's wet. Send it to the moon. Yeah, it's going to take forever for that to set up. Let's see. Okay. Almost wish I had accelerator for this super glue because I know this is nowhere near ready for me to walk away. Oops. Quiet. My own stream is talking to my own stream. Just going to spread this out just a little bit. It's actually, it's still fluid. Spread it out a little bit. Well, I'm gonna have to leave it just like that, I guess, for now. Matthew Costner, what's going on? You related to Kevin? But I'm in a wheelchair and can't afford the truck. Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, this stuff, Matthew, this stuff can get expensive, man. Baking soda? Yeah, but I wouldn't know where to find baking soda in this house. That can, Matt, that actually can be the fun part, man. It definitely can be fun. I mean, think about it. It's literally like watching TV because, well, you have control over the remote anyway of what you want to watch. But it's kind of cool because YouTube gives you such a, I guess, a broader spectrum of things that you want to watch. Like, you got to figure, like, you got, like, on regular TV, you get car shows, right? Like, that's why I primarily watch, like restoration shows, stuff like that. Like Boyd Coddington when he was alive. Gas Monkey Garage, when they actually first came out, I used to watch them. I wish Aaron Kaufman, actually, I wish his I wish his little thing took off, but I don't know what happened with that. But what's cool about YouTube is, like, literally think about it. I mean, you got so many different people out there with talent that are not on the TV that are on YouTube just literally creating content, which is, it's crazy. It may not be as cinematic as what you would see, obviously done, professionally, but you can find that stuff. And sometimes, like, I'm not jumping on no high horse or anything, but that's why some people like my channel, or at least that's what they've directly told me, is because my channel's just, I'm just that guy that's down the street that's just having fun ripping it. Like, and that's what I think is kind of cool, that I'm just Joe down the street, just ripping my RC. I'm Joe down the street ripping my Camaro. You know what I mean? Doing burnouts in Big Black. You know what I mean? It's just having fun, man. You got to have fun with the life that you got. Yeah, they definitely are, man. They definitely are amazing. What are we looking at for time? I got an appointment that I gotta get to at noontime, so I think we're still good on time. All right, so we got 8 people on the stream. What are people up to? What are we doing here? What's going on? The stream's going dead. Nobody's talking, man. Nobody's talking. Maybe what I could do, I could put this aside and actually start working on my Hibao. Why not? I still got time. Maybe it'll keep the stream more interesting. Come on, get in there. Oh, George, you saw that I got that Hyper TT running again, right? I think you were curious about that thing. That thing's bad. That thing's back in running order again. Watch, you probably already commented. You're like, dude, that was your first comment. Nobody knowing what's going on, man. Yeah, Big Muscle's cooking up some food. We should all head to his house. Big Muscle's got the open door. He's cooking up some grub. Whoa. Gone forever. All right, so what's going on with this thing? Battery tray. I've got my servo bearing, my servo saver bearings, and all those pieces in stock. Hopefully, I've got all the parts still. Oh yeah, this thing, dude, this thing's awesome. This is my rat rod. I love this thing. This thing is totally a rat rod. That would be like Traxxas Max on 4S. Yeah, dude, that's got to be tough, man. Yeah, that is tough, man. Is it from an accident? Wish I could change it to the camera that's up there, but it won't. I wish YouTube would allow changes like that within the stream, but it won't allow changes.